This is why the Costa del Sol is a gangster's paradise. By the late 1970s, Spain had overtaken other countries as the preferred vacation spot for Britons, and expats hoping to get a tan and drink cheap alcohol were choosing Spain as their place of residence more frequently. This is CrimeFlicks, your #1 stop for crime stories. Spain, and particularly the Costa del Sol, became a popular destination for Brits due to its low-cost flights, assurance of sun, and welcoming inhabitants, as well as an expanding UK subculture of traditional pubs, Sunday roast meals, fish and chips, and warm ales. A getaway that was close enough to make the travel bearable, but far enough away to add that exotic enchantment of fairy dust to a break. The area became to many in the UK what the Caribbean became to others in the US. But a less desirable component also appeared with that boom. Due to the expiration of a century-old extradition agreement between the UK and Spain in 1978, there was suddenly little to no hope of returning fugitive British offenders to their country of origin for justice. Since the Spanish shore was thought to be a safe refuge, the criminals took to the skies and then the sun. The Costa del Sol in southeast Spain was increasingly seen as a way for British gangsters, stick-up artists, grifters, hitmen, thieves, and pimps to flee the gloomy skies of Britain and, more crucially, the gloomy prison yard walls. The Costa del Crime came into being. Before 1978, if you were wealthy, well-known, or simply wanted to be seen, the Costa del Sol was the place to be. Stuart Granger and Sean Connery from films, Gunilla von Bismarck, a society hostess, and wealthy arms merchant Adnan Khashoggi were among the celebrities that frequented the location. It served as a scorching playground for famous people, would-be prominent celebrities, and wealthy people. This was altered when the treaty expired. The Costa del Crime became equated with some of the most notorious criminals in the UK, as they openly scoffed at the British authorities, even though it was only a relatively brief period in Anglo-Spanish relations before the extradition loophole was closed in 1985 and a new treaty was signed in 2001. The list of crooks who sought safety in Spain was extensive. Rob Hogan, then of the Olive Press, Spain's top expat daily, dubbed it a gangster's paradise. A few of them were Ronnie Knight, a notorious London criminal and nightclub owner, spent 11 years hiding out in the Costa del Sol. He was so confident in his ability to get away with breaking the law that his third wife's wedding cake in Spain in 1987 was designed to look like a jail cell. He was eventually apprehended and sentenced to prison for his part in a multi-million-pound armed heist in 1994. Henchmen of the Kray twins, two of the most infamous gangsters in the UK. Brownbread, real name Frederick Foreman, went to Spain in the 1980s. After Reggie Kray killed Jack the Hat McVitie, he disposed of the body. The Brinks Mat robbery, which occurred in 1983 and involved the theft of £25 million in gold, diamonds, and cash from a warehouse at Heathrow Airport, led to the arrest of John Goldfinger Palmer, who was later cleared of involvement. Palmer owns property in Spain. In 2015, a Spanish hitman assassinated him. According to Duncan Campbell of The Guardian, by the time the extradition loophole was closed in 1985, the region had become known as the part of Europe that fell off the back of a lorry, with over 100,000 Britons owning first or second homes there. The Costa del Crime, however, continued to exist after 1985. As a result of the Spanish Constitution's ban on retroactive laws, the treaty had no immediate impact on any suspected British nationals living it up in Spain. They were confident that they could easily repel any attempt to compel them to return home. The only drawback was that they were aware that even a brief absence from Spain might result in a quick arrest upon their return. It was the end of an era when the new treaty was signed in 2001, yet the Costa del Crime still looms over the nation. Nowadays, drug smuggling is the crime of choice, and Spain's southeast coast has developed into a significant stop on the well-traveled drug route from West Africa to Europe. However, compared to the criminals of the late 1970s and early 1980s, this one is a totally different kind. According to Jason Coughlin, a former armed robber who is now the owner of a company that assists people with legal issues abroad, young firms are extremely different from my generation. For example, they're more likely to employ a machete than baseball bats. It's a terrifying weapon. So, what do you guys think about this? Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications whenever new crime-related videos are posted. Moving on. The Costa del Sol is part of the Malaga region, which the Spanish government reported had 113 organized criminal groups operating there in 2018. Only the Spanish, Moroccans, and Colombians were led by more gangs than the 14 groups that were led by the UK. A joint Irish-Spanish operation in recent years drove a large number of offenders out of the nation. Due to the power vacuum that resulted, gang rivalries and violence increased. Colombians burned down the Haven Beach Club in Estepona in April 2018 as a warning to the owner, who was then shot in front of his family outside a church. This set off a chain of occurrences whose effects may still be felt along the coast. Drugs occasionally rear their ugly heads in Havea, a town on the Costa Blanca, even in and around its typically tranquil environment. The greatest synthetic drug plant ever discovered in Spain was discovered a few years ago, and in the summer of 2020, the crew of a pleasure boat discovered 17 kilograms of cocaine laying on the seabed of the bay in which Havea is located. It may come as no surprise that the Costa del Crime has had an impact on popular culture, serving as inspiration for numerous movies, books, and TV shows. The hit, 1984, starred John Hurt and Terrence Stamp. Sexy Beast, 2000, starred Ray Winstone as a retired mobster in Spain. Cocaine Nights, 1996, by J.G. Ballard, portrayed the criminal propensities that lurk beneath the sun-bleached belly of the retired expat's Spanish hideaway. More recently, the UK's infatuation with Spain and crime has been represented in the 2019 TV series The Mallorca Files, in which a German and British investigator investigate. This is not to imply that the Spanish coasts are inhospitable outposts of the Wild West. Absolutely not. As law-abiding Brits, you adore the location. The UK's Office for National Statistics estimates that 300,000 Britons live contentedly in Spain, and that we traveled there for more than 18 million vacations in 2019. Sun, sea, and sangria make for an enticing combination. Spain is a fantastic country with beautiful scenery and kind locals. Most of the foreign residents there are not connected to organized crime. Before the Kinahan mob turned on him and forced him into hiding for more than 10 years, Peter Fatso Mitchell was the Irish monarch of the Costa del Crime. He eventually surfaced in Yorkshire, the home of Curry, where he found work as a driver for a cocaine gang. Mitchell's trip to a Welsh jail cell, where he was sentenced on Friday to 10 years in prison for his part in the Avengers cocaine group, is at its core a dark gangland tale involving double crosses, greed, and paranoia. Before an EncroChat phone revealed his illicit enterprise, Mitchell, the last surviving member of the renowned John Gilligan gang, had been quietly increasing his wealth by dumping copious amounts of cocaine into South Wales. The journey Mitchell makes to a Welsh prison cell reveals the ruthless and paranoid world of organized crime, where friends may instantly turn into deadly foes, and fortunes can vanish in an instant. When Christy Kinahan Sr. authorized Mitchell's murder weeks after the cartel leader was detained in Belgium for money laundering and police corruption in 2008, Mitchell was fortunate to escape with his life. 6 months after his friend Paddy Doyle, a gangland hitman, was set up and killed by the mob, Fatso, 51, miraculously survived a daytime gunshot and fled his paparazzi club in Puerto Banús, which had become a headquarters for international gangsters. The unsuccessful attack, which was only stopped when the shooter fell, is said to have been carried out by a Kinahan assassin who would subsequently have a falling out with the mob. At the time of the killing, Fatso had built a successful business in Puerto Banús, in the south of Spain, but he had to abandon everything and start over as he escaped the vicious Kinahan mob. He had, at that point, evaded capture by the Veronica Guerin murder squad and had made himself at home with Liverpool-based partners between Puerto Banús and Amsterdam. He frequently collaborated with George the Penguin Mitchell and kept in touch with John the Coach-trainer, who alternated between the Netherlands and Margate on the south coast of the United Kingdom. The property included a bar and a restaurant, and it was barely a mile outside of Puerto Banús, next to the Aloha Gardens apartment building. Mitchell, who drove cocaine shipments to Swansea from his residence in Bradford, supplied Nathan Weber, 28, James Gallagher, 36, and the operation. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to CrimeFlicks.